All right.
So this morning we're going to talk about business building, which is a pretty broad subject. So we're going to try and condense just a couple ideas and thoughts down into some nuggets that you can walk away and implement today. So.
Yeah. When I said let's do a business building Tuesday talk, I'm guessing people were thinking, oh my God, they're going to tell us the secret to success and how to do this business and...
What's the magic bullet?
Yeah, where's the magic? No, that is not what today's talk is about. Lead generating is always cool. How do we get more business? How do we get more business? That's not what today's talk is about either. This is about business building. And I think we sometimes forget that you're not just helping people buy and sell houses, and you're not just writing contracts and solving issues. That's the day-to-day stuff.
That's working in the business.
Yeah, that's your job.
Yeah.
But building your business is looking at what have I done, what worked, where did my business come from?
Yeah.
So if you've been in the business 1 year or more, this is perfect. If you're brand new, well, you can't look back and see what you've done because you're brand new. And so what you need to do is everything.
Oh, you have your work cut out for you.
Everything. You don't know where your business is going to come from yet. So obviously you got to take the Brian Buffini Pathway to Mastery class. But you need to be going to lots of classes, lots of courses. You need to be talking to people, joining events, doing all kinds of stuff. That is not what today's about. Today is about taking a look at what you've done in the past and what results you've gotten from that. And then, do you need a tweak? Where do you need a tweak? If you want to do more business, we first need to know where it came from. And then we need to go, how can I make that replicate itself? And if you've only sold homes to your mom and your dad and your brother and your sister and your cousin, well, you're going to run out of family real quick. So how can you leverage that? Obviously, that's referral-based business. How can you leverage that? Well, if that's where all your business is coming from, again, that's back to taking Brian Buffini, A Pathway to Mastery, and learning how to ask for referrals, grow that sphere of influence of yours.
Add people to your database.
That whole
philosophy.
And really, that's probably what most of you people, where you're getting your business, is from other people that you know. I'm guessing not too many of you have gotten business just off of the internet. Somebody's sending you, found your website and said, hey, you look really nice. Can you help me find a home?
Yeah, I found a good review of you, and help me out.
Yeah, I'm guessing most of you got it by referral of some
mouth.
sort. But you don't always have to get more transactions. So when you're looking at your business, you need to be looking at, okay, where did it come from? What price range am I working in? So let's say you want to grow your business. What do you mean grow? Do you want to grow the number of transactions, or do you want to grow your income? I'm guessing you want to grow your income.
Yeah. If you can do less transactions and make more money, why not?
There you go. So there's two ways to grow income. And when I say income, I mean net.
Yes.
I mean, I do know people out there that maybe their gross has gone up, but maybe they're paying for all their leads and their net went down. So you need to look at your net income. How much do you want to grow that by? Where's it coming from? Now what's your commission? And what's the price range? If you're working in a price range, and let's say you sell a dozen homes a year, and they're all that 350 to 400,000 range, and you'd like to do more business, net income, but really that's a lot of transactions to you. You're like, I don't want to do any more transactions. Yeah. How can you grow and get into maybe a higher price range? And there's some things you can do to get higher price range. Most likely you're probably working with a lot of first-time home buyers if you're in that price range.
Yeah.
Especially if the average in the Denver metro area is over 500,000 now.
Yeah.
You probably want to be working with second-time home buyers. So that's, again, growing your sphere, maybe working with more mature clientele, not first-time home buyers. Maybe doing more direct marketing to people that already own a home and might be looking to move up. So there's things you can start looking at. And again, we could talk for hours on how to do it. The first thing is, in building your business, is looking at your business.
Where's it at?
Looking at the numbers. Break it down. And this is going to take all day. Really, if you spent an hour.
Yeah.
And just kind of broke it down. Where's it all coming from?
What price range?
What
were my commissions?
Commissions. So there's commissions that maybe you could have gotten, and then there's commissions that you might have given away. I see a lot of agents either doing rebates or maybe not taking listings for a value that maybe you're worth. I see that a lot. It's a friend of mine, so instead of a 6% commission, I decided to do a 5% commission.
Or even a 4.5%. I'm seeing a lot of that.
Ouch.
Yeah. They're such good friends, though.
That's our business. Our business is working with friends, family, and sphere. And if you think that you have to give them a deal to get them to work with you, we need to help you change that process.
The dialogue. I mean, really, your friend should be excited to work with you and wanting to pay you your full fee, because that's what they would be paying with any other agent out there. So yeah, changing the dialogue and how you articulate and communicate. And maybe you offer them a little incentive. I'm going to buy a home warranty for you. Something that spiffs them. Because you're a friend or a family member, I'm going to do this little thing that's above and beyond what I would do for anyone else. But we're not talking thousands of dollars in reduction in your commission.
And what I see are agents that give their commission away or rebate or reduce before they're even asked.
Yes. They just assume I'm going to overcome the objection before the objection even comes up, because I don't want someone to ask me, what do I charge?
Yeah. And that comes down to confidence.
Yeah.
When you have confidence and trust your value and what you offer, you don't even think about giving away your money, your income. This is your income.
Yeah, your livelihood, how you pay your mortgage, how you feed your kids, how you go on vacation. And oftentimes, if you do a very good job with your presentation for your buyers and your sellers, commission never even comes up. They don't even broach the subject. They're like, you're worth whatever you charge. Where do I sign?
And so if you're someone who has given up or reduced or not getting paid what you think you deserve, how can we grow your confidence? And that is something that you have to do, and it's doing it through experience. And sometimes it's stepping out and risking someone saying no to you. So when you present your commission and you say, I charge 6% and this is what I do, and your friend says, well, could you actually stand up and say, no, this is my profession. This is what I do. And we're all taught to try and get a deal. Doesn't mean we always get it, but I mean, when you go buy almost anything, you do ask, is this going to go on sale? Can I get a better price? And when someone says, well, no, this is what the price is, if you want it, you pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's in our human natures and our DNA now to ask. So your friend, I don't think they're asking you for a deal necessarily because they don't think you're worth it. It's what they do. We're supposed to ask.
We're supposed to ask. I mean, you'd be a fool if you didn't try and ask.
But you having the confidence and trusting in what you deliver and your value, and to go, you know what, Jennifer, Sam, whatever your friend's name is, this is what I charge. This is my fee for my services. And again, the value that I showed you and all the things that I would do for you, I think I'm going to get you more than your return on asking me for a reduction on my cost for the value I'm going to bring you in this transaction. And I guarantee you, when you come across with the confidence that you are delivering great value to your friends and family, they won't push you. They'll just go, oh, okay.
Yeah. But
you've got to step out and risk someone saying, I don't know, would you give me? And you got to stand up and say, no, I'm gonna. This is what I charge. And I guarantee when they say, great, that sounds good to me, and they'll still say it. Great, okay. I just had to ask. I had to ask. Mm-hmm. And you sign that contract, and you're gonna go.
You're gonna feel awesome.
You're
gonna feel real good.
And here's the thing: when you go from a 6% to a 5% or less, that's a 30% reduction in your commission. Because you're not getting the whole thing, most likely. You've got a co-op fee, probably. So you went from a 3.2 to a 2.2. That's a 30% reduction.
Yeah, it adds up.
You want to increase your income this year?
Build your business?
Don't give away your money. You can have a 30% increase just by not negotiating away your commissions or giving rebates, especially when you're not even really pushed on it. I mean, the value that we offer is so much more than even 5 years ago. You're accessible all the time. You're guiding them. There are so many things that you got to work through in these transactions nowadays. That
the negotiations are more complicated and complex, and the expectations are higher, and the emotions, I mean, they're pretty elevated. So there's a lot that goes into it.
So business building is about looking at your business. Where does it come from? Do you give away any of your commission? What price range are you in? Let's break it down and take a look at the whole thing. The next place I see you guys giving away your money are on double-sided transactions. And we talked about this yesterday in the mandatory update.
Yeah, and can I pause you there for a second? Just because Larry Queen, I wanted to thank you for your comment that you posted when we were talking about where your business comes from, and maybe you want to go from a first-time home buyer to a move-up buyer. And Larry made a great point. Plus, second-time home buyers are usually 2 transactions. Oh. So you're getting a listing and a buyer, and that's one relationship.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that,
so,
Larry.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was something big that I did when I was selling. And again, I haven't sold for about 10 years now. But I wanted to increase my transactions and increase my income. So I looked at all these things. I looked at my commissions. Yep. I looked at if I was giving monies away, and I wasn't. I'm Stacey knows. I would rather not get a deal than to reduce my commission. And I probably lost a handful of deals throughout my career because I would not reduce my commission. And, this is a philosophical thing that you can go, something's better than nothing. To me, it wasn't. To me, this is my value. This is what I offer. And if I'm not able to articulate my value and they still want a deal, it didn't work for me.
It wasn't a good fit.
No. It wasn't a good fit.
And to pour yourself into a transaction where you're getting paid 4.5% or 5% versus waiting for the buyer or the seller, the client that is willing to see the value that you have, I mean, your time is much better spent waiting for that other client to come around that's paying 6%.
Yeah. So what Larry said is exactly something that I did focus on. Relationships are a lot of work. And I was, selling 40 homes a year, or 40 transactions a year. I'd rather have 20 relationships and 40 transactions, meaning a seller who turns into a buyer. So yeah, the move up person is awesome, and there's a way to target that. And that was something that I definitely did. Because it's a lot less work to have to know 20 people closely and help solve 20 people's problems, issues of selling and buying versus knowing 40 buyers that have to buy this year.
Exactly.
That's a lot of work. So that was a great point.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that. But you were going to segue into double-sided transactions and giving away commission.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that.
Again, too easily we give up a double-sided transaction. And again, this goes back to confidence. I think people feel, well, this is really easy. Maybe you got a listing, and within a handful of days, a buyer comes along and wants to buy the home. Now, whether or not this buyer says, hey, I'm a customer, I'm unrepresented, and tries that whole thing, or just comes along and says, I want to buy the house. Either scenario, agents easily just say, you know what, Mr. Seller, because they present the offer to the seller and say, since I'm doing both sides, I'm just going to charge the one side. They're not even asked by the seller. They just, I think you might feel guilty that, wow, this is so easy. I'm going to get 6% on $500,000. I'll make $30,000. I had this for a week. I don't even want to talk to the seller about, oh my gosh, why am I getting all this? Why is it mine? I think they give it up before they're even approached by the seller. And it wasn't that easy. I think you might have forgotten all the work it took for you to get that listing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been marketing, you've been doing events, you hosted a party.
Building relationships, sending your note cards, doing your pop buys.
If you were getting 50 listings a year, then maybe you said, woo, this just is so easy.
Yeah.
But the average agent gets 3 to 6 listings a year. So I don't think it was an easy thing to get. And I think you might have forgotten all the work that was behind the scenes to get it. And then the buyer. It didn't just appear. You marketed. You took beautiful pictures. You put out nice flyers. You posted the right verbiage. You got it onto you did the things that you were supposed to do.
You spent a lot of time doing your CMA to price it right.
Price it right.
You educated your sellers to make sure they knew the importance of pricing it right and staging.
Yeah, there's
so much.
There's so much. Oh, hi, Jonathan. Morning, Rita. Morning.
Morning, Mindy.
There's so much that you guys do that I think by the time the offer comes and it all comes together, you forget.
Yeah.
And again, you may easily give your commission up. And a double-sided transaction, back to what was it Larry?
Larry, yeah.
Larry said about 2 transactions, maybe a seller who becomes a buyer. What about a seller and then you get the buyer? You get a double-sided transaction. It's the best thing in the world for you as an agent, because you don't have to have a relationship with another agent. And overcome the relationship and the drama that sometimes happens between 2 agents. You get, and same with your seller. Your seller doesn't have to work. You control the whole thing. You orchestrate it. You make sure that the closing date coincides for everybody. I mean, it's the best scenario for you and for your seller. Now, if for some reason your seller says, oh my gosh, you've got both sides of this.
And that comes up occasionally. I mean, some sellers are very educated. They can jump straight to the question. Wait a minute.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's where you overcome it by what we just talked about. Look, it was all the things that led up to bringing this buyer in that produced the buyer. And let me show you how this is going to be a smoother and a better transaction.
And if there was another agent, you'd be paying this out anyway. And now I'm going to be doing double the work.
And you've always got the contract to fall on. If you did not negotiate this up front, if this was not an issue when you first took the listing, and you've got that total commission in there, and you've got a co-op fee in there, and that's all you've got, you have a contract. You do not need to negotiate. And if the seller's a little disappointed today, well, they'll get over it. They had agreed to pay that amount, and you agreed to take on a project without any guarantee of getting paid. That is what we do as realtors.
Yeah.
We have no guarantee in this industry of getting paid until something sells.
Yep.
But when we get a contract, we follow through with that contract, and you need to stand by that contract, and I'll back you up. If even the seller says, I want to talk to your, that's not, you know what, I don't care if it's your best friend, your neighbor, who it is, you guys have a contract, you agreed to it, and you're doing a great job. Don't give away half of your income.
Mm-hmm. Plus, when you set your expectations in the beginning, when you're going over the listing agreement, in the event that I'm able, through all the marketing that I'm doing, I'm able to bring the buyer, which is what we're going to hope for. Here's how that's going to look. And then it doesn't even come up in conversation when that offer comes in. The seller's jumping up and down going, you did it. You told me you're going to try and bring the buyer because you're doing all this marketing. You're doing all this networking. You're making sure my home is front and center. You actually fulfilled that promise. And they're thrilled.
So yeah, you want to approach this in the beginning.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean you give away your commission in the beginning.
In the beginning, no.
It means you let them know that this is what you're trying to do. This is the best case scenario, is that you can do it all by yourself and you get all the commission. Best case scenario.
Yeah.
And approach that in the beginning. But if it comes up in the end and was never approached, you have a contract.
Yeah.
Get paid. Do not give away your earnings. And if that customer comes and says, I'm unrepresented, and this does, they're smart out there.
I just talked to an agent where it happened yesterday and educated her on how to combat it.
Yeah. They are not party to your contract. They are not party to your listing agreement. They don't get that commission. You just say no. Let's not worry about negotiating my commission. Let's worry about negotiating the price on that home. And let's see if we can't get you into that home. So business building, look at where your business has come from. Look at what your commissions are. Look at your price range. And look at, are you giving in? And I can almost guarantee a lot of agents could probably have a 20 to 30% increase in their income without doing any more transactions. Just by building that confidence and being able to stand firm on what you charge and trusting in your value. It's way too easy to play the game of, well, this guy down the street gives away his commission. They're only this much. You need to build yourself up and build your brand and your value of what you deliver up so that you can retain your earnings. And agents do all the time. There are very few in the realm of all the agents out there that are really giving up their commissions. We hear it. We see, the flat fee agent that charges $1,500, whatever.
They're a minority.
They are the minority. Many, many more agents are taking very good commissions and not giving rebates and giving up their earnings.
Yeah, and if you're wanting to work on your negotiating skills this year, if that's your one goal, your self-improvement goal for the year, start by learning to negotiate your own commission. Because how can you expect yourself to be able to negotiate the listing price or the inspection items or an appraisal issue if you can't even negotiate your own fee? Start right there.
And again, this is building confidence. So you got it. It sounds so smooth. You got to have these dialogues and these conversations that come and roll off. So practice. Practice with another agent. Have someone say, you know what? Would you reduce your commission down to 5.5? Because I think. And what are you going to say? Don't wait until they ask you to figure this out.
I don't know.
Yeah. Larry, you've got great stuff today. I love your...
Thanks for being on here, Larry.
Those double-sided transactions should be seen as a reward for the times the deal falls apart at the last minute.
Oh, gosh.
That's sales. Never feel guilty.
Yes, exactly.
And yes, we're all in sales. Your dentist is in sales. Your accountant is in sales. Your attorney is in sales. They're all doing a job, which is your accounting, but they need new business. Your dentist works on your teeth, but he needs new business.
And he tries to retain you as a client.
Yes, and he's not retaining you as a client by giving you a reduction in what he's going to charge you. Don't go down the street, don't go to Comfort Dental for $99. He doesn't say that. He says, I've got a really good hygienist. We do a great job for you. I don't hurt you. They show their value. Your accountant stays current with the new laws. They're changing all the time. So they're trying to save you money by staying current and looking for the best deductions you can get. You as a great agent, you're giving the value and protecting your client. You're not giving away your money. That's your income. And maybe the word commission makes it sound like something that should be negotiated. It's your income. This is our job, our industry, our career. Don't give it away.
Yeah, and there's so many other places in the transaction you can save your client money, and being able to articulate that's important. And, through negotiations of the price and the inspection items, perhaps even closing costs. Maybe you have a relationship with a great title company and their title policy is lower than some of the other title companies. So, Mr. Seller, we can save $200 here by using this title company, and they charge a $20 less closing fee. And you know what? If we gather our association documents in advance by going to your online portal where you have access to all these, I can save you $75 to $150 there. And you start showing the value of, these are all the little avenues that I know through my experience where we can just add all these little check marks, and we don't have to worry about negotiating the income that I'm going to earn.
Yeah, great point. So that's really what I want to talk about, business building. I know people are like,
you're wanting lead generation. You're wanting what's the
magic?
What's the magic for 2020? Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at what you're doing. Let's look at where it's coming from and figure out how to grow from there.
And work on yourself. Work on your what's it going to take for you to build your confidence, for you to feel secure in yourself and what you do. So if someone tries to offer you less than what you feel you're worth, or what you should be worth, maybe you feel you're only worth a 4.5 commission. How do we build that up? Yeah. How do you build that up? What do you need to deliver so that you don't get caught in that negotiating away your income? And this is something that you need to do on yourself. You need to build that confidence. You need to build that security and the value inside yourself. We can help.
Yeah, we can definitely help.
Taking a course, but it's on you to really build that confidence. And once you do, you don't have to sell 40 homes a year to make a great living in this industry. You just got to stop giving away your money.
Yeah, and when you do have that confidence, which generally comes from knowing what you do, practicing how to say it, going through all these different dialogues and scenarios, and then just doing it and seeing what happens. Oh, that didn't work very well. Next time I'm going to try and say it this way. And, maybe you do, everyone hates the word role play, but I'm telling you, practice makes perfect. And don't wait until you're sitting at that listing table to practice. That's not how we do this. So work on those, whether it's with a spouse, whether it's with, another family member, another equity agent, whether it's with Todd and I. Hey, can I sit down and just kind of throw some of these things at you and see if you can tweak what I'm saying? But that's going to help build your confidence so that when you're sitting there, if, you can't see eye to eye with a client, you know that it's okay to walk away. And you're going to find business elsewhere. You get to choose who you work with. And that's the beauty of this industry. And when you have that confidence, you know that you're not relying on that one person to make you money for the year. You're going to have a pipeline of a bunch of people to work with.
Yeah, great point. Practice. And I don't think we practice enough in this industry. I think we practice on game day, which, and then
sometimes it goes well. But sometimes
it's sure nice to go in with a plan and feel confident with your plan and what you're going to say and how you're going to overcome things. You can't plan for everything, but again, you don't want to wait till you're at the table and then get stumped with trying to overcome something, because then you end up giving away your money and then there's your 30% you just gave up.
And really, to be perfectly honest, there are about 5 to 10 objections that come up in a presentation. If you know how to answer all of those, they just come up every time. It's not like you're reinventing your answers. You're just learning how to say it and deliver it differently for each client that you're sitting with. But all the objections are the same. They really haven't changed.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to say about business building today while we wait for you guys to type in questions?
No, main thing is look at your business.
Yeah, where's it coming from?
Yeah, this is the time of year.
Because really, that's what you want to do, is do more of that. If you got 50% of your business through referrals, really focus in on that. If you got 50% of your business from open houses, you know what? You need to be doing a lot of open houses. Do more.
And I always say it. A couple things that agents aren't good at: being consistent and doing the things that work more than once.
More than once. It's like, yay, I got success. Yeah. Have you done that again? No.
Yeah. Where'd you get that buyer? From open house. When was the last time you did an open house?
When I got that buyer.
Why are you not doing those all the time? Or where'd you get that buyer? As a referral. Where'd you meet the person? I was at this event. I was at this party. When's the last time you went to an event or a party? Well, the last time I met that person. I mean, we're constantly looking for the next, when we should just keep doing what works. But you got to look. You got to look at what worked to know how to do that again. And so many of us are just working in the day-to-day that we haven't stepped back to go, oh, this is where my business came from. Now focus, narrow in, laser focus on that. And stop trying to do these other crazy things.
Well, and what's so funny, I think, is that as human beings, we really don't like change. Like, anytime something changes, you get that, oh, okay, I can adapt. Yet we have a hard time doing the same thing over and over. As much as we hate change, we're constantly looking for something else, something different. So if you can really harness, do what works for you, do what you really enjoy, do what you like, and don't look for that shiny object out here or out there. Because really, you don't want change. Because then you're just going to jump back to what you were doing before anyway.
So